Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a little bit of an update slash rumour. I mean, it's all rumour on Warhammer 40K, the Amazon series, movie, universe, whatever it was going to be, all to do with Henry Cavill. Apparently, it could be shelved. Now, this is all rumour, strictly rumour at this point in time. Okay, we don't know. But they've also not revealed anything. We've had no updates on anything. There's very seldom any sort of updates, so this is nothing. There's nothing new. It's nothing out of the ordinary. But also, if they were ramping things up, you would get casting news. You would get something, and all we've had has been complete negativity. So it's not a huge stretch or surprise that this has sort of fallen by the wayside. I think that's something to be. I don't know. I could consider that as pretty legit. But we'll dive into this today. Hit subscribe if you're new here, and please do turn the bell notifications on. But as we have it here, look. A new rumour claims that Amazon MGM Studios and Games Workshop's Warhammer 40K live action project from Henry Cavill might be shelved. Now, it might be shelved because apparently, according to Archcast, is the entire thing has never been solidified. It's not financed at this point in time. There's nothing actually happening. Now, that is very believable. So when things get announced, there's a lot of stuff which gets announced well in advance of anything actually moving ahead, or even scripts being finalized, right? They announced that they had a partner with Amazon, but they didn't announce that there was anything actually happening. In fact, they even asked, what do you think we should do? A movie or a TV show? What do you think we should focus on first? And I like to go back to this complete joke of a show, Judge Dredd Mega City 1, right? They announced that well in advance of anything. Literally anything at all. Now, a lot of that wasn't everyone's fault that was working on it. It was mainly the owner of Judge Dredd as an IP. They announced it, then they got to work on it. Script wasn't finalised for like another, I don't know, year, 2 years. Quite a long time, actually. No, longer than 2 years. So, and then that got scrapped as well. They don't have any partners. There was no financing. There was no distributor. There was nothing. But yet they announced it. And now we're 6 years on? Still nothing? At all? Is it ever going to get made? Probably not. So this isn't a huge stretch. So when we're talking about this, please do just keep that in mind. But it says here, the new rumour comes from Archcast, and he says, right now, the agreement in principle between Games Workshop and Amazon Prime appears to be in effect. This means that a team at Amazon, a team of writers, is right now trying to write out a story that is going to be turned into the Warhammer 40K TV show. They have, I believe, a few more months on this deadline for this project, and they have to hand it in, and then it either has to be greenlit, or they have to have their writing date further postponed in the hope that they can produce something better further down the line, or the entire project will be shelved. Those are the three options, or three opportunities. Either they'll have a project they'll go ahead with, they'll shelve the whole thing, or they will extend the deadline to try and get a decent product going. In other words, nothing is finalised yet, absolutely nothing. There isn't even any money for the project allocated, as far as my insider can tell on Amazon's behalf. No writing staff has been truly hired, and no money has been truly allocated. No plans have been truly made. It says this, Games Workshop shared in a blog post in the middle of December that the company had come to terms with Prime Video and Amazon MGM Studios to have an adaptation for 40K brought to both the big and small screens. The company said, quote, back in December last year, we announced Games Workshop and Amazon Studios had signed an agreement in principle to work together to bring the Warhammer 40K universe to screens big and small. Well, today we have an update, and it's one we've all been longing to hear. We've now signed the full agreement, and the next stage can begin. The next stage just being development. It doesn't mean anything's greenlit. The company also said, all we can tell you right now is that an elite band of screenwriters, each with their... They didn't even... Should have clocked this at the time, actually. An elite band of screenwriters, each with their own particular passion for Warhammer, is being assembled to help bring the setting and characters you love to the screen. They didn't have anyone. They didn't announce anyone. Why didn't I clock that at the time? What an absolute dunce. Dullard. Yeah, so they literally did not announce anyone at the time. And we're now, what, 7 months later? Not good, is it? Not good. This illustrious group will be championed by Henry Cavill, who stands ready to take his place as executive producer, bringing his pen, sword and or spear to the project. And it says this: as for when the first project might arrive, Games Workshop said TV and film production is a mammoth undertaking. It's not unusual for projects to take 2 to 3 years from this point before something arrives on screen. Still, things are now properly rolling, and you can bet we'll bring you all the latest updates and cool snippets as soon as we're able to. I mean, look, if it's taken you 7 months to even gather screenwriters, there's a problem. Because you haven't announced that you've not announced that there's any screenwriters on it. You just said that you're building a team. 9 times out of 10 you announce them because that helps, and it helps with funding. But you didn't announce anyone. So, logic is you don't have anyone. And Henry Cavill said some of this stuff as well. This is his post. I think this was in the December one anyway. So look, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, not good. And he said a tiny little bit of it in February. Henry Cavill said, "It is the greatest privilege of my professional career to have this opportunity. I can't say too much again. It's early days still, but to have this opportunity to bring it to the screen and be at the tiller so it can be faithful is key. This is the stuff I've been dealing with since I was a kid. This is sort of the stuff I spend my free time daydreaming about as an adult as well. And I get to bring it into life, and there is no greater reason than I joined the industry than doing something like, and I'm very happy to be here." So, yeah, sure. But you don't even have screenwriters, otherwise you'd announce them. And not only that, what else has been announced recently? Well, not even recently, a few years ago. Oh, Hellraiser TV show? That's never happened. I think this is going to get shelved, you know. At least in this iteration. I think it's done. I think it's dead. I think it's shelved. Why wouldn't you have announced anyone? Screenwriters and stuff? Like, you'd have announced a screenwriter at the very least. Bizarre that you haven't. So there you go. Henry Cavill, Warhammer might be shelved. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoy my other content and you want to support further, become a Patreon for as little as $2 a month via the link in the description box. Cheers guys, take care, bye bye now.